But I was never able to use the bed because my hospital stay was not of long duration. Now, I attribute my recovery to having consumed large amounts of vitamin C in the form of freshly squeezed oranges. I did, however, develop a constant need for medication, painkillers. Now, I believe that medication, they'll alter and they'll change a person's thinking, and you have trouble making simple decisions, and they're clouded all of the time with questions. You have trouble making decisions, and I never really recovered after this crash. I guess you could say that I became a junkie on legally addicting drugs. However, about 1947, there was this senator who had it in for me. He wanted some publicity so that he could become a vice president or something like that, some high office. His name was Senator Owen Brewster, whose initials quite coincidentally happened to be S.O.B. He instigated a Senate hearing into my business affairs. He's saying I misappropriated $18 million on the flying boat. He was long referred to as the kept senator of Pan American Airways. And, you know, people after the war, they were thrown in jail, some of them for misappropriations. So it was didn't look very good for me. I had one man working for me, Johnny Meyer, and he had testified before the committee saying that, well, we gave parties for Army officers and gratuities, and he was there to try to help me with his testimony. And Elliott Roosevelt, he was there to help with his testimony. And well, an excellent example is, please don't help me anymore. So it is a hellish situation for a man's character to be put into question along with charges of bribery. So I had to personally appear before this committee. About the last thing in the world I felt like doing. And I was very tired from the flight. And the next day I was duly sworn in. So I held the earphone. I said, yes, Senator, now I can hear better if I hold the microphone or earphone up to my ear. Everybody knows that I am deaf. I don't try to hide it. Charges. Well, I specifically charge that at a luncheon at the Mayflower Hotel that Senator Brewster, in so many words, told me that if I would merge my company with Pan American Airways and go along with him on this community airline bill, that there wouldn't be any investigations into my business affairs. What's that, Senator? You say it all sounds more like Hollywood than Washington. Well, yes, I do have questions. I have over 200 questions I want to ask of Senator Brewster. Senator Brewster's testimony, as related here yesterday, is a pack of lies, and I can tear it apart if I am allowed to cross-examine him. And it's unfair to have my integrity questioned and not be allowed to cross-examine Senator Brewster. Now, yesterday, you told me that I would be accorded the same privilege as the senator from Maine or anyone else here. Now, will you give me the questions in advance that you want to ask of me while I am here? Well, the committee finally asked my questions of Senator Brewster. He admitted knowing Pan American officials and accepting simple little gratuities. He basically avoided answering most of the questions. Then it came my turn to speak. So I said, the American public has witnessed two men under oath giving testimony which is quite contrary to the other. Now, I believe that in deciding which one of us here is telling the truth, that our reputation should be examined at least to some extent. Now, I understand that Senator Brewster has a reputation of being clever, resourceful, a terrific public speaker, and one of the great trick shot artists in Washington. Now, let us examine my reputation. I'm supposed to be capricious. I am called a playboy. I have been called eccentric. I'm supposed to be many things which are not complimentary, but I don't believe that I have the reputation of being a liar. As far as I know, up until today, no one has ever questioned my word. I believe that Senator Brewster is not telling the truth. If I can be allowed to cross-examine him, I think that I can prove it. If I don't have that right, I'd like to drop the matter right at this point. Well, funny thing. Senator Brewster removed himself from the proceedings, went back to Maine. He kind of turned tail and ran. The next day, the committee's first topic of discussion were the business activities of my PR man, Johnny Meyer. So I said, the parties with the girls, I said, all the aircraft companies are doing the same thing. I believe Mr. Meyer, he patterned his work after what he saw in other companies. If you can make a law that says that no aircraft company can entertain Army officers and you can enforce it, I will be glad to abide by it. I never wanted to work this way in the first place. Do I know where Mr. Meyer is? No, I have got 28,000 employees in my company. Do I know where everybody is every day? Now, you had Mr. Meyer here for unlimited questioning. I am not going to bring him back here so you can have some big publicity show. I think that my company has been inconvenienced just about long enough. Will I see to it that he's here for the 2 o'clock session? What, today? Well, no, I don't think I will. Will I try? Well, no, Senator, I don't think I'll even try. As to the flying boat and the delays, why, I put the sweat of my life into this thing. I have my reputation on the line. I have $7 million of my own money into it. And I've stated many times that if it doesn't fly, I will probably give up my citizenship and I'll leave this country. And I mean it. Well, on the morning of the 6th day, the committee called the hearings to an end. And on the 7th day, I rested. Well, after my victory over the Senate, I decided to put all of my energy into the flying boat. To move the flying boat from the assembly point in Culver City to San Pedro is no easy task. It has a wingspan of 320 feet. Its length is 218 feet, and it is the largest aircraft ever built. November the 2nd, 1947, the date that was chosen for the tests. Everyone had been told that it was only going to be taxi tests in the choppy water at Long Beach, and that I wasn't going to fly it. They were all told that. And the first 2 taxi tests, after that, the reporters, they got in to call in their stories. But it was on the 3rd taxi run that I decided just to give this thing full throttle. And when the plane reached the 100-mile-an-hour point, it rose majestically. It attained an altitude of about 60, 70 feet, and it only flew a little over a mile. And then I gently lowered it back onto the sea. And this was its only flight ever. This aircraft is, in my opinion, one of the present-day 7 wonders of the world. It has been called a work of art. I don't build any Cluck airplanes. Many people have wondered and asked if I intended to fly it beforehand. Some say it flew by accident. And the reporters, in particular, wanted to know if I had intended to fly this plane beforehand. I'll tell you the same thing that I told them. Certainly, I like to make surprises. skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Nothing but blue skies from now on. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by, when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on.